Bonjour les étudiants, so hope you're fine, and today we'll be continuing the exercises of lesson 8, the direct speech, indirect speech, and we got a small tabular column to follow. There are small steps you got to remember and so on. So just take a look at this. And here we are, hope you can see. Okay, so it's actually the direct style. Okay, style direct, we call it as direct speech, and style indirect, style indirect, it's actually indirect speech in French. So whenever you got indirect speech, these things, okay, we'll be changing to this in indirect. Okay, so that's why we got this. Okay, we got around 10 or 11 steps to follow, and the subjects, it depends actually to whom it's said in the main clause. Okay, as you know, there is main clause and subordinate clause. So in the main clause, to whom the person says, according to that we'll be changing the subject in the indirect speech, or the vice versa. Okay, and so let's see here. So if it's in direct speech, okay, je or j apostrophe is used. In indirect speech we'll be using il or elle. Right? If it's masculine, then it's il. If it's feminine, then it's elle. So then here in actually direct speech, if you're using tu or vous, here we'll be using je, nous, il or elle, depends. Right? So here, and if it's vous again, okay, so if it's vous here in direct speech, so same way, like it can be used as il or elle. Okay, so third person plural can be used also. And il, elle in direct speech will be like turned to tu or vous in indirect speech. And if you got est que, okay, you got a question with yes or no type question with est que, intonation or inversion, we'll be using si, okay, if, okay, in indirect speech. And then in present, if the tense, okay, in the subordinate clause, if we use present tense, we'll be using imparfait or present tense itself. Okay, so depends. Future simple, if future simple is used in the subordinate clause in direct speech, then you'll be using conditionnel présent. Right, conditionnel présent. If it's actually de plus infinitif du verbe, okay, so then it will be imperative. Okay, so if imperative is used in indirect, we'll be changing with the preposition de and then the infinitive form of the verb. We got 2 or 3 sentences in the exercises, so that's why I taken notes. This is actually just for your book exercises. Okay, it's not really the direct speech, indirect speech explanation. It will take a bit long. So actually we have prepared a small thing, actually like a formula and so on. And this is demain, which is tomorrow, will be changed to le lendemain, the next day. Aujourd'hui, it's today, and it will be changed to ce jour-là, this day. Hier, which is yesterday, and so in indirect we'll be changing to la veille, which means the previous day or the eve. Right? So this is actually the basic. Okay, you got to know this in order to change the direct to indirect or indirect to direct. Okay, so now we'll go for the exercises of the lesson. The first exercise, mettez les phrases au style indirect. Okay, so put the sentences in indirect speech. Okay, we got 5 sentences, and you can see in direct speech, okay, here, so the direct speech will be having some colon and then some right, the colon and the inverted commas. Okay, so I forgot the name of the punctuation, so so inverted commas, and then in that we'll be reporting the words that the that the person who said will be reporting that with the same exact words that he said. Okay, in indirect we'll be using que to link the main clause and the subordinate clause in order to say what someone said in our own words. Okay, so that's what the difference between the direct and the indirect. And here in the first exercise, yeah, you can take page number 68, right, page number 68, and you can just follow, right. Mettez les phrases au style indirect. Okay, so you got 5 sentences, and the first sentence you can see the main clause says ma bonne dit. Ma bonne dit, which means my servant says. Then you got the colon and the inverted commas. Je suis malade. Okay, je suis malade. I am sick. Okay, this is actually the words that the servant said. Oui. So hope my pen is disturbing. Okay, so fine. So now it's fine. Right, ma bonne dit, je suis malade. So now we'll just go for the answers. I will just write. Okay, so hope you can see. Watermelon. So the main clause will be the same. Okay, we don't change anything. Okay, ma bonne dit. Then we'll be like linking those two sentences. Okay, joining those two sentences using que in indirect. Okay, ma bonne dit que. And it's actually je suis malade. Okay, so je suis malade. And je changes to il or al, right? As we saw in the tableau column. Okay, so je changes to il or al. So ma bonne, it's actually feminine. So we'll be changing to al. Al. Okay, so actually we cut this and add an apostrophe. Don't forget it. Okay, so ma bonne dit quel. So we'll be changing the verb. Okay, so suis changes to a. Okay, so the verb is conjugated to al, the verb être, then malade. That's it. Okay, ma bonne dit qu'elle est malade. So the second sentence, papa demande pourquoi Vedant pleure-t-il. Okay, so the main clause will remain the same. Papa demande. Okay, so dad asks, so why Vedant is crying. Okay, so pleurer is actually the verb. Okay, so why is Vedant crying? So that's what the sentence is. So we don't change anything. Okay, so we don't change anything. We just write papa demande pourquoi. Okay, so we don't use que here. Okay, papa demande pourquoi Vedant il pleure. We don't use the question mark here. Okay, so wait, so that's it. So the third one, mon frère me demande tous les jours. Mon frère me demande tous les jours, veux-tu jouer aux cartes? Okay, so my brother asks me every day. Okay, tous les jours, which means every day. Veux-tu jouer aux cartes? Okay, do you want to play cards? Okay, so you can see here in the rules. So this is actually an inversion. Okay, the question we use inversion. Okay, so what we do is actually we use C. Oui? So we got to use C in this because the answer, if you can check, you will be using with S. Okay, you want to play cards, S or no, right? Okay, so we'll be using C. Mon frère me demande tous les jours. So veux-tu jouer aux cartes? Okay, so we'll be using C. So tu changes to je. Okay, because here we are using me. Okay, so mon frère me demande. So it's actually my brother is asking to me. Okay, so we'll be asking like if I want to play cards. Okay, si je veux jouer aux cartes will be the same. I hope you can say it's not clear. Bon. Hope it is now. So the D one. Le Premier Ministre explique. Okay, so the Prime Minister explains. Le pays est sous le choc. Okay, so le Premier Ministre explique. Le pays est sous le choc, which means the Prime Minister explains the country is under shock. Right? It's under panic or shock. We'll be writing Le Premier Ministre explique. Que. Oui. Le pays est sous choc. Okay, here we'll be just using que, right? Que le pays est sous le choc, right? So the Prime Minister explains that the country is under shock. So the last sentence of the first exercise, mon voisin me demande. Right, so my neighbor asks me. Comment allez-vous au travail? Okay, so he asked me like how do you go to work? Okay, so the vous changes to je. Right, so comment remains the same. Comment je vais au travail. Right, so comment je vais au travail. Boom, so this is it. Okay, so the first exercise it's over. So we'll go to the second exercise now. Mettez les phrases au style direct. Okay, so now we will be changing the sentences to direct speech. As I told you, we'll be using a colon and inverted commas. So you got to remove this que and so on. Okay, if you got que or si and so on, we'll be removing. So we've got 5 sentences. The first sentence it's le maître demande à ses élèves ce qu'ils font. Okay, so le maître, which means the master, the teacher. Okay, the teacher asks to his students what they do. Ce qu'ils font, which is what they do. Okay, so you got to change it to direct speech now. Le maître demande à ses élèves. Okay, so this is actually the same thing. Okay? So le maître demande à ses élèves, but we got the main clause now. So then we use a colon. So ce qu'ils font changes to qu'est-ce que vous faites. Okay, so we are reporting this with his own words. Okay, with the words that he used. Okay, so the teacher asks to his students, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? So qu'est-ce que vous faites? Okay? So yeah, so don't forget this inverted commas and then the question mark. Right? So now, but the inverted commas comes next to the question mark normally. So the second one, ma mère me demande si j'ai fait mes devoirs. Okay, the second sentence, ma mère me demande si j'ai fait mes devoirs. Okay, so my mom asks me if I have already done my homeworks. Okay, so if you got C, what you got to do, it's actually you got to change it to a yes or no type question with the est or intonation or inversion, right? Okay, so we'll be writing this. Ma mère me demande so C changes to est, okay, or you can use inversion or intonation. I'll use with est-ce que. Est-ce que tu... Right, so je changes to tu. Est-ce que tu as déjà fait tes devoirs? Question mark and then inverted commas. Okay, so ma mère me demande est-ce que tu as déjà fait tes devoirs? Okay, so may changes to tes. So even the adjective possessive do change. So the third one, le commissaire de police nous demande ce que nous faisons au coin de la rue. The third one, le commissaire de police nous demande ce que nous faisons au coin de la rue. Okay, so the police commissioner asks us what we do in the corner of the street. Okay, so le commissaire de police nous demande. Okay, so the main clause, le commissaire de police nous demande. So same way like the first sentence, okay, we'll be using the qu'est-ce que, or you can even use que. Okay, so even here, qu'est-ce que vous faites? Que faites-vous? You can write. Okay, so it will make a bit shorter. Que faites-vous au coin de la rue? So inverted commas. Okay, so le commissaire de police nous demande que faites-vous au coin de la rue? So what you do in the corner of the street? So the D one. Mon ami me demande si je suis fatigué. Okay, so the D. Mon ami me demande, my friend asks me if I'm tired. Okay, so C changes to. Okay, so yes or no type. Est-ce que intonation or inversion? Mon ami me demande si je suis fatigué changes to. So we'll use inversion this time. Es-tu fatigué? Right? So are you tired? Mon ami me demande. Okay, so my friend asked me, are you tired? You can even use est-ce que tu es fatigué or tu es fatigué. Right? So you can just write as it is. So tu es fatigué even. So the last sentence of the second exercise. Le directeur demande à Narmada à qui elle écrit. Okay, so the director or the boss asks to Narmada to whom she is writing. Le directeur demande à Narmada. When you're writing in your notebook, please write it neatly because my handwriting sucks. À qui elle écrit? So al changes to tu because she is the director is asking to Narmada. Now, like when you report it directly, so it will be like to whom you are writing. À qui écrivez-vous? Oui, à qui écrivez-vous? To whom you're writing. Okay, so voilà. So the third exercise now. So same way like the second one, mettez les phrases au style direct. Le nouveau professeur me demande comment je m'appelle. Okay, so we'll just make it a bit faster, right? So le nouveau professeur me demande. Oui, le nouveau professeur me demande. Oui, so colon, inverted commas. Comment je m'appelle? Comment t'appelles-tu? Voilà. So, comment t'appelles-tu? Right, that's how you ask, right? Or you can even ask comment vous vous appelez, even that's fine. So, second one. Le marchand m'avait demandé. Le marchand m'avait demandé ce que je voulais. Oui. So here in the sentence you can see the first, the main clause. It's in actually plus que parfait. M'avait demandé ce que je voulais. The second, it's actually in imparfait. Oui, voulait. So we'll be changing to present tense. Oui. Le marchand m'avait. So the main clause doesn't change. Okay, so don't worry. Just the second half will be got to make some changes. M'avait demandé. So same way like the previous exercise, the first and the third one. Okay, ce que changes to qu'est-ce que or que. Okay, so you can use qu'est-ce que or que. Ce que je voulais. So normally the merchant or the salesman, they'll be like talking politely. Okay, que voulez-vous? Voilà. Oui, pardon. Que voulez-vous? Wait, what do you want? So the third sentence now. Parthiban m'a demandé si je mangeais avec Sridhar. Okay, so Parthiban asked me if I was eating with Sridhar. So we got to change like Parthiban m'a demandé. Right, so now inverted commas. So now je mangeais avec Sridhar. C is there. So what we got to do, it's actually got to change it to yes or no type question, intonation, inversion, or with with est-ce que, right? So je changes to tu. So and manger will be changed to present tense. Okay, here it's actually given in imparfait. Oui, imparfait. So we'll be changing to present tense. Manges-tu avec Sridhar? Yeah, so the inverted commas close. Oui. So the D. Vinod Devi m'a dit qu'elle travaillait à Mumbai. So Vinod Devi m'a dit qu'elle travaillait à Mumbai. Okay, so she's passing in information that she was working in Mumbai. Okay, so al changes to je. Je travaille, present tense. Okay, je travaille à Mumbai. That's it. Oui. So it's present in T-R-A-V-A-I-L-L-E. T-R-A-V-A-I-L-L-E, if it's not clear. Sorry. So E. La secrétaire m'avertit que le patron arriverait à midi. Okay, so the the secretary, okay, so advised me or alerted me, warned me, okay, told me that the boss would come at noon. Okay, so here you can see le secrétaire m'avertit, so it's actually in present tense, que le patron arriverait. So here we are using conditionnel. Okay, here we are using conditionnel. When you got conditionnel, we'll be changing to future simple. Okay, don't forget conditionnel changes to future simple. À midi. So la secrétaire m'avertit. Pardon. Que le patron arrivera à midi. Oops, sorry. So just remove this que and yeah, voilà. La secrétaire m'a averti, le patron arrivera à midi. That's it. Oui? Voilà, dot. And so we'll continue with the remaining exercises tomorrow. Okay, so because actually I don't find a good position for the camera. Okay, and hope it's fine. Yeah, okay. And same way this page, actually I'll send you a screenshot. I'll send you a picture of this page. Okay, so hope you can take note of it. So thank you guys. Yep.